Ask any fan to name their most memorable Bathurst race cars, and there's always one or two that are remembered purely because of the huge accidents they were involved in, which have become part of Bathurst history. One of those cars was undoubtedly the Kermit Green XE Falcon of Dick Johnson. Back in 1983, the 5.8 litre Cleveland V8 in this car was punching out over 500 brake horsepower, so naturally come Bathurst time, Dick was pretty confident of a strong showing. It all went wrong in the shootout for pole position. Johnson clipped the wall exiting Forest's Elbow, the car fired off into the trees and was destroyed in a frightening accident. Fortunately, Johnson was able to walk away from that crash, and in 1984 he returned to the mountain in this car, a brand new Kermit Green XE Falcon, complete with the signature sheepskin seat covers. Unfortunately, Dick didn't win the race that year at Bathurst, but this car did take him to his third National Australian Touring Car Championship crown.
Bathurst has played host to a variety of drivers as skilled with a spanner as they are with a steering wheel. Arguably, there have been none more effective at combining those two skills than six-time winner Larry Perkins. LP is unique, a world-class driver and self-taught engineering genius whose intimate knowledge of his machinery has translated into race-winning speed and bulletproof reliability. Perkins first tasted Bathurst success when he took over preparation of the Holden dealer team Commodores in 1982. Larry shared driving duties with Peter Brock, and from 1982 to 1984, the dynamic duo took a hat-trick of wins. Perkins went on to establish his own team, backed by a thriving engineering business, and the switch to V8 supercar racing in 1993 was perfectly timed. He out-engineered and outdrove the competition to claim 3 more Bathurst wins. In 1993 with Greg Hansford, and the 1995 and 1997 V8 races with Russell Ingall.
In 1985, the traditional Bathurst battle between Ford and Holden was shattered when Australian touring car racing switched to the international Group A rulebook. Imported brands like Jaguar, BMW, Nissan and Volvo became the new force. Holden, however, chose to continue a competition program with its smaller and lighter VK Commodore, and over time they started to hone it into a pretty potent Group A contender. Now, the decision was taken pretty early to slightly reduce the capacity of the 5-litre Holden V8 engine, and that allowed the car to run with a lower minimum weight and therefore have a decent crack at outright honours. The strategy proved correct. Alan Grice and New South Wales chicken farmer Graham Bailey teamed up in this Commodore prepared by Les Small, and the little privateer team simply blew the competition into the weeds. The switch to international Group A touring car rules in 1985 forced Ford teams to find an alternative to our big Aussie V8 Falcons, which had been rendered uncompetitive under the new regulations. And they found it with this car, the Ford Cosworth Sierra RS500. The Ford Sierra was a fairly compact and lightweight 2-door hatchback that Ford sold in Europe and the USA. But when it came to Group A racing, they equipped it with this, a turbocharged version of its 2-litre twin-cam 4-cylinder engine put together by its competition partner Cosworth. Now, this engine was capable of power outputs exceeding 600 brake horsepower, and a pretty compact package that included big brakes and aggressive aerodynamics, including this gigantic rear wing. Quite clearly, Ford had a winner on its hands. The European-based Texaco Sierra team dominated the 1987 Bathurst race, only to be excluded several weeks later due to a bitter debate over bodywork legalities. The Turbo Ford would, however, go on to claim back-to-back Bathurst crowns, in 1988 with Tony Longhurst and Thomas Mazzira, followed by Dick Johnson and John Bowles' dominant flag-to-flag victory in 1989.
By the early 1990s, the dominance of the Nissan GTR all-wheel drive, all-wheel steer twin-turbo rocket ship had signed the death warrant for international Group A touring cars. The Bathurst fans were screaming out for a return to good old Ford versus Holden Aussie V8 warfare. And in 1993, the rule makers obliged. 2003 marks a decade of V8 Bathurst battles, exclusively for the Ford Falcon and Holden Commodore V8 supercars, which continue to build on the unique and fascinating Bathurst legend. A legend that spans 40 fabulous years.
Bob Jane and Harry Firth were in the winning car, this time a Cortina GT, but the real drama was to happen behind the leader.
A lap ahead and the end near. Bart Moggridge waits for number 11. There he goes. That's the end, 4:16. 24 minutes faster than last year. Mark Oastler reaches for the checkered flag. One of the few men to win at his first attempt on this course. Oastler sails over the line, 5 minutes 16 seconds faster than last year. Here's the actual difference between Gibson and Gagan on the last lap. Gibson is the dark car up front. Holders and you'll see Gagan in 53. There he goes, 11 seconds behind. Coming up to the checkered flag, McPhee has broken the race record set last year by the Falcon. 6 hours, 32 minutes, 25 seconds their time for the 500 miles.
They drove exactly the way we wanted them to drive. It's a team effort. It's been a team effort all the way through, and we're very proud of the result.
After 500 miles, I can assure you this is the happiest turn a driver can make. It's this left-hander onto the straight, waiting for the jubilation of his pit crew to give him the wave finishing the race.
So Moffat and Ford take the Hardy Ferodo 1000 crown.
Is Kevin Bartlett, who takes the checkered flag to win the 1954 Hardy Ferodo 1000 for John Goss, and it's a little later John Goss in the pit, who at last has won the Hardy Ferodo 1000. Only 400 metres to go to take the checkered flag and win the 1975 Hardy Ferodo 1000. That's it, the checkered flag for Peter Brock in the 1975 Hardy Ferodo 1000 at Bathurst. Smoke is pouring from the back of the car, but he's going to do it. I think he's coming down to the bend for the last time. And it's John Fitzpatrick through the bend, the car still driving. And he waves, he's got the checkered flag, and it's John Fitzpatrick who wins for the Ron Hodgson team. And Moffat from the outside will sweep around and take the checkered flag first for victory in the 1977 Hardy Ferodo 1000.
The last corner comes up. The checkered flag unfolds for the 1978 champion, Peter Brock.
After 163 laps, Peter Brock.
Down into the braking area, back through the gears. Listen to the crowd warming up. A checkered flag unfolds, a page in history as Peter Brock and the Marlborough Holden dealer team comes across to take the checkered flag. Trying to get inside of Jimmy Richards. Won't be too long before these flags come out. Here it comes, the checkered flag for Peter Brock.
That after 60% of the distance has been covered and the red flag is used, the race must be declared. We cannot have a restart.
Well, that means that Dick Johnson is the winner under those conditions.
At the end of the great race, he's done it, he's won it. The 82 James Hardy 1000 goes to Peter Brock.
Of the James Hardy 1000 for 1983, down through the gears. He's done it. He's put 7 on the board. Peter Brock wins the 1983 James Hardy 1000 at Mount Panorama, the 1-2 for the dealer team. Peter Brock in 05 comes across the line to win the 1984 James Hardy 1000. At the 1-2 JRA Jaguar finish to Australia's great race. Chalk up 1. John Goss, the winner of the James Hardy Classic for 1985. Last corner comes up as Grice in the Chickadee Roadways Commodore V8 hits the last turn, straightens it out. Checkered flag at the ready, and the Aussie privateer, the battler, cracks it for the Hardy 1000 at Mount Panorama, and the crowd has erupted. And he takes the checkered flag. Second place will officially go to his teammate Klaus Ludwig, who will be 2 laps down in the number 7 Eggenberger Ford Texaco Sierra. And third place will go to Australia's Peter Brock in the Mobile Commodore. All the Brock fans waiting for Peter Perfect to come across the line. And he does just that. What a reception for the 1988 Cooley's 1000 at Mount Panorama at Bathurst. Congratulations to Thomas Mazera, the great race winner in our bicentennial year.
All you got to do is keep breathing.
We started our telecast at 10 this morning with the great race. John Bow leads us into the last corner. JB, how does it feel? You're the two-ish champion for 89.
Unbelievable. Fancy doing that.
You've done it. Crowd absolutely berserk. Last turn, checkered flag. How does it feel? Two-ish champ, Alan Grice. the very last corner of the 1991 Tooheys 1000 at Mount Panorama Bathurst. Checkered flag, Jim Richards, Nissan, that's his car. Down there.
The winners of the great race for the second year running, Mark Oastler and Jim Richards.
One of the best victories, he's done it in the new V8 Formula. Larry Perkins wins the Tooheys 1000.
All that is true, but Dick and yourself have done a mighty job. The checkered flag is out for you.
Is the moment, savour it, John.
John Bell wins the 1994 Tooheys 1000. Dick Johnson is absolutely jubilant, as you'd expect.
Larry Perkins and Russell Ingall, the great race winners, the Tooheys 1000 for 1995.
The crowd cheering him on, 46,000 fans. He gives a wave. And he points it up toward the checkered flag, and Craig Lowndes wins the 1996 AMP Bathurst 1000.
Larry, Perkins and Russell Ingall, they do it for the second time together. Perkins wins the 1997 Primus 1000 Classic. There he is. Well done, Larry. Two young guys, a 25-year-old Jason Bright, 26-year-old Stephen Richards. This is their first Bathurst win, and Stephen Richards and Jason Bright win the FAI 1000 Classic. Stephen Richards will do it back to back in the Wins Commodore. Unbelievable stuff. The two Kiwis do it. Stephen Richards, Greg Murphy win the FAI 1000. Yes! Woo!
In the FAI 1000 away, so too for Jason Bartwana. Holman conquer the mountain once again. Jason Bartwana and Garth Tanner take out the FAI 1000.
They know that they have got it. And Mark Oastler says, we have done it. We have done it. He comes across the line. He's never won a fucking supercar. He has now. Scaife and Lawhurst do it at Bathurst. Then Mark Scaife goes around Peter Brock. And Mark Scaife will go back to back at Bathurst. He secures another Australian touring car title.